This is a face of the day for the 27th of September. It's a really easy look that you can use with any palette, but I'm using the Naked palette from Urban Decay. It's for when I want a full face of makeup, but I don't want it to look overdone. I want it to be daytime, I want it to look fresh and pretty. Right, so they are discontinuing the Urban Decay Naked palette. It is by far my favourite palette from Urban Decay, so I'm a little bit miffed that they're discontinuing it, and I have kind of bulk bought it. So this is my go-to, what I'm wearing at the moment. So I mix Virgin and Sin, and I put that across the front part of the eye. Often with Urban Decay it's a good idea to use a primer, but I'm not using one today. The NYX HD primer is my favourite one. So just in the inner corner to about the centre, up to the socket. And then you just pull what's left of the brush across the rest of the eyelid, and then we're going to blend Sidecar in the outside corner. And we're going to do the reverse, so we're going to start with most of the product in the outside corner, blend it up through the socket and towards the inner corner. So everything's nicely blended together, but you've got the maximum impact of the colour on the outside. Then I'm going to go in with my Lime Life Perfect Liner. The reason I love this is it's super fine, and so it's really easy to just draw it in along the root of the lashes, which means you get less chance of a wobbly line, and it's more definition for the root of the lashes rather than a big flick or a big dramatic line. While that dries, I'm going to use my Hourglass Ambient Lighting Powder to just blend out the top edge of the eyeshadow. And I'm going to use the same brush and a tiny bit of Naked, which is a matte from the Naked palette, through the socket, just to give a bit more definition in the socket. If that makes sense. Push the socket back a bit. Then over the top I'm going to get my MAC Smolder, and I'm going to run that across the outer third of the eye, again focusing on getting the roots of the lashes. And then my trusty angle brow brush, I'm going to smudge that. This is going to give a softer line, it's going to give a straighter line because it's going to even out any bumps. And I'm just going to pull it out at the outside corner to give a kind of flick, but without it being too hard, because this is just going to be a daytime look. So then I'm going to use my Lime Life Perfect Mascara, which I love. It's a fibre mascara, so it gives extra volume and length. It doesn't flake off and fall down your face, and it lasts all day. Everyone who has tried this mascara loves it. So then what I'm going to do is I'm going to get a bit of the Daniel Sondler Sun Glow from his customisable palette for cheeks. And I'm going to pat it on the top of my cheekbone and I use this underneath my foundation because I'm not big on highlight, but I like a healthy glow, especially at this time of year. And then I'm going to use my Lime Life Perfect foundation, and the reason I'm using this is because it's sunny today and I want to use an SPF. So I've got my Helio Care on. And I really like to apply this foundation with my fingers because it is wax based. It just moves beautifully on the skin with the warmth of your hands. So this foundation is made by RCMA for Lime Life, and RCMA is the foundation used by loads and loads of makeup artists in their professional kits, including Beyonce's makeup artist. It's the foundation that he has found stays on through her performances, and imagine how hot it is doing those dance moves in those lights. And Michael Jackson used RCMA as well, so this is not going to go anywhere. So if you have redness, you have oily skin, this works beautifully. And I have dry skin and I like a fairly I like my redness to be covered, but I don't like a full finish foundation, so I just make this as sheer as I can, focusing on the areas where I want a bit more coverage. So you can still see my freckles, but also it means I'm going to use less concealer, which I'm going to put on now. So I'm using my Collection Lasting Perfection concealer. I'm going to dot that along under the eyes, a tiny bit around the nose and a tiny bit on my chin. And I've had to get used to, since using this foundation, I've had to get used to putting less concealer where I usually put it. So I usually need quite a lot around my nose. And I usually need, I don't take my foundation too high up under my eyes because I don't want it to sit in any creases, because I know I'm going to need concealer there. So the minimum amount of product you can get away with under the eyes is good, but I need much less concealer on my chin because I get such great coverage, and around my nose. So another massive bonus. Then while that's setting, I'm going to use my Clinique Lower Lash Mascara on my lower lashes. Funny that. And then my Daniel Sandler Rose Glow, still the best long wearing blusher, really beautiful. Now then, what I've been doing recently is using my Lime Life blusher, which I broke, Impossible, because this has got bits of gold through it, so it really looks so pretty on top of the skin. And then I'm going to set everything with my Hourglass powder. Lastly, on the lips, I'm going to use Super Cindy, which is a Charlotte Tilbury, and it's slightly brown for me. But only slightly. So what I tend to do is then get this, which is the Lime Life Lip Gloss in Grace. You can see it's slightly pinky. And it just makes Super Cindy a really beautiful colour. Once I have put my lipstick on, I just go back and I'll add a tiny bit more blush. And that is it.